Hollywood, that's gooey ballyhooly Hollywood, where in the office boy.
Good morning, Hollywood. I'm Sarah Zarrell, the board chair of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony for the late Carl Weathers. The Chamber has proudly hosted the globally iconic Walk of Fame for millions of people around the world for over 60 years. And I would now like to introduce you to Emmy Award-winning journalist who is in her 4th season as the Las Vegas Raiders in-game host and the host of the Raiders Talk the Nation, who will be our MC for the day. Please welcome lifelong fan of Silver and Black, Sibley Scholes.
Hello, everyone. How do we feel today? Good? It's good to see you. This is going to be a beautiful celebration today, and I'm excited and honored to be able to do this with you today. Before we get started on everything, I just want to make sure that we say hello to everyone who is watching around the world right now. And good morning from us here at the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony at the gateway to the Walk of Fame. So this is our presenting partner, Variety, who will be doing our stream. So hello to all of you. The Hollywood Walk of Fame recognizes achievement in the categories of motion pictures, radio, live theater, live performance, recording, television, and sports entertainment. Today, we are proud to honor Carl Weathers posthumously with the 2nd star in the category of sports entertainment. This special and well-deserved star is number 2,787. Let me tell you a little about Carl. Carl Weathers will always remain an icon of film and television. For more than 50 years, the feature films in which he appeared have grossed well over $1 billion in the box office revenue worldwide. They include the first 4 Rocky films, as well as Predator, Action Jackson, and Happy Gilmore. He also made television appearances in Arrested Development, where he played a version of himself, and most recently as the powerful Greef Karga in The Mandalorian, garnering an Emmy nomination for acting. These have all become cult favorites. Carl's artistry expanded to directing, from a critically acclaimed production of the stage play Danny and the Deep Blue Sea, to television including The Mandalorian, FBI, Chicago Med, Hawaii Five-0, and Law and Order. Prior to his meteoric rise to stardom, Carl, a gifted and natural athlete, played professional football in both the NFL and CFL with the Oakland Raiders and the BC Lions, respectively. This past June, the Directors Guild Foundation paid tribute to its esteemed DGA member and DGF officer, Carl Weathers, by renaming their premier annual fundraising event in his honor. Going forward, the tournament will be officially known as the Directors Guild Foundation Carl Weathers Memorial Golf Tournament. Carl's family has told us that Carl was actively involved in preparing to receive his star before his passing, and that he was very proud to be recognized with this prestigious honor. Today, we have 3 speakers here to say a few words about Carl's life and his influence. Our first speaker is the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, a cherished friend to Carl Weathers, and sponsor of today's ceremony. Hollywood, please welcome Mark Davis to the stage.
Good afternoon. In 1970, I met Carl Weathers when I was a 15-year-old water boy working in the equipment room for the Oakland Raiders. At the time, Carl was an undrafted, free agent rookie attempting to make the Raiders roster. An undrafted free agent is basically the bottom of the barrel in players trying to make an NFL team. In addition to size, speed, Carl also had bravado and a mouth to go with it. He would quote Shakespeare. He would pretend he was Muhammad Ali. The confidence that Carl exuded sometimes rubbed people the wrong way. And while I've seen that act played out many times before with other players, time and time again, usually with an unhappy ending, things certainly turned for the better in Carl's case. Through hard work and determination, Carl caught the attention of Al Davis and John Madden. They saw through the bravado and found that Carl had all the intangibles that made up a Raider. Not only the physical measurements, but skill, attitude, and mental makeup. But as quickly as Carl forged his way onto the Raiders roster, Carl was gone after just 2 seasons. He traded the silver and black for the silver screen. What remained was the underlying philosophy of the Raider way, an unyielding will to win, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. When Carl transitioned from football to acting, he didn't just step into a new career, he dominated on the way to becoming a star of stars and created an unforgettable legacy as an icon of film and television. Due to the great casting of Sylvester Stallone, Carl hit major box office success in Rocky in 1976. His unforgettable portrayal of Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies brought back vivid memories to me, to that ball boy, of how Carl's persona compared to that of Muhammad Ali. It was amazing when I saw that. When that movie came on the screen and everybody was talking about it, and I went out and saw it, I said, God damn, that's Carl. And from there on, he was a rising star. Apollo Creed was the ultimate competitor, a man of extraordinary confidence and charisma. And the way he went toe-to-toe with Rocky Balboa, a determined underdog who pushed him to his limits, was comparable to those training camp battles where he beat the biggest of odds to earn a roster spot with the Raiders. In his 6 decades of dominance in the industry, Carl wasn't just a character in a movie. His portrayals inspired millions. Carl Weathers will always be remembered as more than just an actor. He's a trailblazer, a game changer, and my friend. My father used to say, we all know time never really stops for the great ones. It reaches out and wraps them in a cloak of immortality. Today, and for eternity, Carl, you are wrapped in that cloak right here in your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you.
Mark, I have to add, once a Raider, always a Raider. Our next speaker grew up in a family steeped in entertainment history. Her grandfather, Rance Howard, was an actor with extensive credits, and her father, an actor-director and Walk of Famer, Ron Howard. Her role in M. Night Shyamalan's The Village launched her film career in 2004. She went on to star in many popular, beloved films such as The Help, for which she won a Screen Actors Guild for Best Ensemble. 3 installments of the Jurassic Park blockbuster, the franchise, and received Golden Globe nominations for her work in Kenneth Branagh's As You Like It and Rocket Man. Following her father's footsteps, she began to direct, making her directing debut in the feature documentary Dads, and has also helmed multiple episodes of The Mandalorian, among other projects. Please welcome Bryce Dallas Howard to the stage.
Hello, everyone. I am so honored to be here today to represent the love that the Mandalorian family has for Carl. I worked as a director beside Carl for 4 seasons on the franchise, and I, like everyone else, was amazed by this titan of a man. Carl was not only one of the central stars of The Mandalorian, he was also one of the show's regular directors. It astonished me how effortlessly he wore both hats. It was truly remarkable to spin both those plates, acting and directing, and on a show like The Mandalorian where the tech was ever evolving, the IP was so revered, and the stakes were sky high. To pull that off required a level of genius, and Carl did it with grace, ease, and enthusiasm. Make no mistake, what he pulled off by simultaneously acting and directing was a feat of expertise and human excellence at the highest level. Very few people, if any, could do what Carl Weathers did on that show. Jon Favreau, the creator of The Mandalorian, of course wishes he could be here. We spoke yesterday, and as we were reminiscing about Carl, he reminded me that Carl initially did The Mandalorian as a favor to Jon. Greef Karga was meant to be a small 3-episode arc. But as we know, because of Carl's talent and presence, that small role became a defining personality and character, and we all craved more. Carl was an integral part of the Mandalorian family. As Jon put it, he was not just a wonderful, enthusiastic team member. He was like a team captain. He had a positive attitude and the work ethic of an athlete. Everybody learned from him because he was a natural leader, and wherever he went, people would light up and stand tall. For many, Carl's impact started as soon as you walked in the room. When thinking about the way Carl greeted people, one person wrote, "You felt his full attention, his genuine care. Somehow it never stopped feeling like an honor to shake his hand." Carl's effortless charisma, as another person put it, was one of his gifts. They wrote, "He moved through the world with a confident kindness that was so uniquely Carl. You couldn't help but feel it rub off on you a little." And about Carl's process, one person admired, "Nothing he did was half-assed or done without careful consideration. He could have coasted on his name alone, Carl Weathers, the Carl Weathers, but he refused to. In our work together, he was remarkably humble. He always assumed there was more to learn, and he treated everyone as an equal and a collaborator. He sincerely wanted to listen, to learn, to be part of the team." To close, I'd like to share a quote from Giancarlo Esposito that really sums up for me what it was to know and love Carl. "Carl's clarity, straightforward attitude, and positive outlook on life has been a beacon for me throughout the years. It will continue to inspire my journey to be honest, forthright, and true, as he was. A true delight, an inspiration, a testament to all that is the best a human being can be. Carl was the North Star for so many, lighting our way in more ways than we will ever know." Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. Before we introduce our next speaker, I'd like to take a moment to thank a few friends here to celebrate Carl out in our audience. We have Raiders alumni in the building, Grant Irons, Jim Plunkett, Phil Villapiano, someone special here, Carol Connors, who wrote the Rocky theme music. With Bill. You have the gloves and everything. Carol, you're the best. We also have Ted Lang here. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. David Kochner. Richard Chavez. Omar Sy. And Carl's partner, Christine Klugian, who we'd like to thank for spearheading the nomination for Carl's Star. Thank you all for being here today. Our next speaker is a Grammy, Peabody, and multiple Emmy Award winner. His breakthrough role was a young Kunta Kinte in one of the most watched miniseries of all time, Alex Haley's Roots. He went on to have a prolific career as an actor in many memorable films and TV projects, such as Perception, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, Ali, and of course, as Lieutenant Commander Geordi LaForge in 5 Star Trek films and on TV in Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Voyager, and most notably in Star Trek The Next Generation. Perhaps his proudest accomplishment is executive producer and host of Reading Rainbow, which ran for 23 seasons, and for which he received many accolades for producing and hosting, including a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Children's and Family Emmy Awards in 2022. Hollywood, please welcome Walk of Famer himself, LeVar Burton, to the stage.
Good afternoon. I will make this brief. I loved Carl Weathers. And Carl was a man who wore a lot of different hats. He was an actor. He was a director. There's a wonderful contingent from the Directors Guild of America here. Carl loved the DGA. He served the DGA because he knew how important this union was to so many of us and to the process of making movies and television itself. Carl was a humanitarian, and I think the best tribute I can pay to him is that he was, in fact, the embodiment of a good man. Now, I do not use those two words in combination lightly, but Carl deserves it. In Carl's presence, and it was alluded to earlier, you knew that he was focused 100% on you. He wasn't looking around to see who more important came in the room. He was laser locked on this now moment with you. Carl was also an icon, a legend. Apollo Creed will go down in history as one of the most popular figures in entertainment history, and that is due to the charisma and talent of Carl Weathers. When you met Carl, you knew you were in the presence of somebody special. Because Carl knew how special he was. And he didn't have to tell you about himself. It exuded out of every pore of that man's being. He was indeed a good man who would take the time and give of himself the best thing he had to offer, which was simply his attention, himself. I am proud to have been asked to speak on behalf of my friend. Carl and I used to meet sometimes at a Korean spa here in Koreatown, just east of us. And so we spent a lot of time naked in the sauna. Now, when you're naked with somebody, there's nothing to hide. No, I mean, really, there's nothing to hide. But there are two meanings to that because there is no artifice, right, in the sauna. And Carl had no problem being his authentic self in every single moment. I think that his ability to be authentic was probably his greatest gift and greatest talent. So I'm really glad that we have all gathered here today to celebrate such a remarkable human being. Be peace was Carl's motto in his later years. And I know he would want to encourage us all to live that motto as best as we are able. Y'all, be peace.
Thank you, LeVar. I don't know how to follow up that story, but I do have a story of my own. I was fortunate enough to, as the in-game host, get a chance to meet so many Hall of Famers, so many players, and as a kid growing up in the Bay, it was cool to see Carl Weathers walk on that field at Allegiant Stadium last year. So I got to give him a hug. Sorry if my voice is shaky. The Raiders are very special to me, and so is he. So I got to give him a hug. He was so sweet, so genuine. And I've interviewed so many people and met so many human beings, but he was larger than life walking down that field. And the second moment we got to see each other and work together for the show that I host, I was with him and Charles Woodson in the end zone doing an interview. And Charles is familiar with the show, but I knew Carl was not. I still asked him, I said, can we do an interview? He said, what is this for? And I said, we're just gonna do, a trivia game. He knew none of the answers and neither did Charles. Mark, they didn't know their history. But I was laughing with him the entire time and I looked over at Carl and I said, how many times have you seen the show? He's like, oh yeah, I mean, it's good, I've watched it. And I said, well, what's the name of it? And he was silent, I was silent, waiting for an answer, and we just both bust out laughing. I said, and I slapped him on the shoulder, I said, I knew you never seen the show before. But it was amazing to have that moment with him, and today again, it is my honor, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for allowing me to do this today here at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, Carl, we love and miss you. Thank you so much for all you brought to all of us. And with that, I'd like to introduce Steve Nissen, President and CEO of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Sibley. Well, as I look around this audience, I see one other gentleman with a tie, two gentlemen with a tie. I was going to say, I'm wearing a tie. I must be from the Chamber of Commerce. But personal privilege, thrilled to be surrounded by Raider Nation. I went to school in Northern California when the Raiders were dominant up there. I was a classmate of a certain former quarterback who was in the audience. Plunkett, good to see you. And I'm thrilled that Hollywood will be joined permanently with another former Raider who we're honoring with star number 2,787 today, and that's Carl Weathers. So yes, the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce has been administering the Hollywood Walk of Fame for over 60 years, and every one of these ceremonies is truly magic. We have one more speaker today who I'd like to have come up here. You're going to have to stand here and listen to a few more remarks from others. But accepting the star for Carl Weathers today, and by the way, you heard a lot about Carl Weathers from Mark and Bryce and LeVar and Sibley. What you didn't hear is perhaps his two proudest accomplishments are his two sons. So son number one, in order of chronological age, Matthew Weathers will come up and accept the award for Carl. Come on up. And Matthew's younger brother is also here today with us, Jason Weathers. I don't know where this came from. Okay, no, you have to stand here. All right, all right. All right. So this is really a street filled with amazing talent from so many disciplines, geniuses in their own creative rights. And even though it's a street of dreams and aspirations and creativity, it's also a real place with real businesses and real people working here and tourists and people who live here. We are in the city of Los Angeles in the 13th Council District, and we're honored to have with us today the council member from the 13th Council District, Hugo Soto Martinez, who is going to present a special recognition to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. First of all, I would like to thank the Hollywood Chamber for putting this event, for Variety, who streams it live for all of America to see, to Sibley for being our wonderful MC, and most importantly, Mark, Shelby, and LeVar for sharing so much personal testimony about the late, great Carl Weathers. As we know, not a lot of us know him personally, and so hearing those stories is incredibly touching to understand the man that was on the big screen, that was on the field. My interaction with him was through the movies. Of course, being a young boy, watching Rocky, watching the series of that, watching Predator. And as a teenager, my favorite movie, Happy Gilmore, we can all remember his most famous line, "It's all in the hips," which is an iconic thing that I still remember today. But today, we'd like to recognize the great Carl Weathers posthumously for his amazing work and legacy, and present his loved ones with this certificate, which says, by adoption of this resolution, the Los Angeles City Council does hereby recognize Carl Weathers with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you so very much.
All right, we're almost there. I get to do a lot of fun things in my job. But yes. But I don't get to do that. But I think one of the most pleasurable things is to say what I'm about to say, which is, on behalf of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, I now declare today Carl Weathers Day in Hollywood! And with that, son Matthew, take it away.
Hi, my name is Matthew Weathers. I am Carl's eldest son. I had to come up here with my brother, Jason Weathers, and Christine Kalugin, my father's partner. She played a huge role in the preparation of this, and there's one person missing, which is my father. They really did this together. But I'd like to thank Mark Davis and the Raiders. My father was an individual with dreams and aspirations. He knew what he wanted at a very young age. He told me on numerous occasions that if he had some money in his pocket as a young man, he'd go to the movies. He became a good football player, wanted an education, went to college, studied theater, got picked up by the Raiders, later played for the BC Lions, finished his education, and eventually made it to Hollywood. And not a lot of people have the opportunity to do what he did, and he knew that. He really, really did. He was proud of what he created. So am I. It's hard to imagine that he's not here. It was a sudden passing, but as much as I don't want to get emotional, this is a day of celebration. I'm really proud of the man he was most of all. My father shared something with me on numerous occasions that wasn't orchestrated, it wasn't prepared, it was just on numerous occasions. He just taught me about perspective, and that everybody's got their own perspective. It's based on your upbringing, your environment, where you came from, what you've accomplished, where you are in life, and to look through the world and look through situations from multiple lenses. It'll help us all. He really cared about people, and most of all listened. As you had mentioned, sir, the attention that he paid to people that he was talking to. So whenever there's been challenges in my life, things I want to accomplish, he was able to provide multiple lenses and discuss those challenges and help me get through them. I miss that, but I've learned a ton from it, and I am very, very humbled by him being honored today. He was a beautiful, beautiful person, and his legacy is going to go on forever. And once a Raider, always a Raider.
I'm Jason Weathers. I'm the youngest son, the favorite son, as my parents would say. I just wanted to point out, I know that this golf tournament has been named after our father now, which is amazing, truly wonderful. But you all have to know he was a shitty golfer. I mean, really bad. So I think it's a little funny that we've decided to name the golf tournament after him. But I just wanted to say I'm so proud of my father for what he accomplished in life. And I wish he could be here to experience this. I know he was looking forward to this. Over 50 years in Hollywood, in his career, and now to be immortalized with a star is just truly wonderful. We're just so grateful, and I wish he could be here to experience this, but I know he's looking down right now, and he's enjoying this. I know he's enjoying this, so I want to say thank you to everyone for being here today. Thank you so much. Very heartfelt thank you to Mr. Davis and the Raider family. Really appreciate it. And go watch the movies, guys. Go watch the movies, all right? Yeah.
I was going to say something. Well, good morning, everyone. About a year ago, Carl was at his desk in his office, and he was busy tapping away on the computer, and there were piles, the writing pile, the directing pile, producing pile, acting pile, all the piles. And I said, hello, excuse me. He's like, yeah, babe. I said, I believe it's about time you get your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And he said, oh, you believe that, huh? Doesn't even look up. And I said, I believe that. And he said, you have my blessing. So we did the application, and you all have heard about his character. Every T was crossed, every I was dotted, and we wanted to make sure that it properly reflected all that he contributed and all that he had achieved. For him, achievement and hard work was everything, and he wanted to make sure that it was all reflected in that application. And so when he was granted this star, it meant the world to him. I want you all to know this, because this is a meritocracy. You cannot buy it. And he has earned every single point on that star. He was my #1 champion. And he always imparted the importance of excellence and mastery and humanity, but above all else, gratitude. He was so grateful for everything. So he would be so overjoyed to see each and every one of you here and here and here and everywhere. So on his behalf, on the family's behalf, I want to make sure that everyone who has helped put this together has thanked in a way that I can hardly express. Mark and Bryce and LeVar, Anna and the Chamber, my brothers, Matt and Jason, the entire Weathers family, Isabella Davis, and none of this could have happened without my cherished friend and rockin' producer, James Tuminia. It's right there. Thank you for celebrating with us the most magnificent man I ever knew.
All right. I think you can feel there's a lot of love for this man. Thank you for those beautiful remarks. And now I think it's time to unveil the star. So let's go down. Where are we meeting? On here? See if I can make this happen.
Michael, come back a little. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to welcome the newest Walk of Famer to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Carl Weathers.
Mark just said it spelled right.
Straight ahead, everybody.
Yes.
We're in the middle, guys.
For us? Okay. So, you stay, and then I'm going to bring you back. Stand right here. Over here, nephews. Over here, nephews.
Yes. On the spot?
Yeah. The first one. You're the first one. Gentlemen to the left.
Gentlemen down, please stop down.
He's down for us.
A little to the left.
Right down the middle. Couple to the right. Far left, gentlemen. Far left. One more time, guys. One more time to the right, please.
Down,
Right.
down, please.
Down.
What's up, you down?
One more time. One more time to your far left. Touch the star. What on the What would you like to do? Can you come up, guys? Here. Guys, right in the middle. Hey, everybody look at straight ahead. All the way down to the All right, guys, right in the middle. Can everybody look right dead center, please? Right dead center, in the middle, in the middle. Looking down.
Right tail, please, sir.
Smiles. Left side, folks. Great job.